Hey guys, I've been living overseas in Southeast Asia for years now. And one thing I've learned is that living alone in Southeast Asia can be incredibly freeing, but it can be surprisingly difficult at times as well. And today I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the things that nobody really talks about. Stick around for today's video.
Got these plans stuck in my head. Southeast Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate.
The first section I really want to talk about is the best parts. And for me, and might be one of the best ones to be honest, is complete freedom over your schedule. And that is one thing that I love, waking up and going to bed with knowing I have complete control over my schedule. In other words, I wake up in the morning when I want to wake up. And when I wake up, I decide what I want to do that day. I decide where I want to eat, what I'm going to do, how long I'm going to lay in bed, where I want to grab coffee, how long I want to sit there, where and what travel destination I want to go to next. And I don't need to worry about someone else's, what they want, where they want to eat, what do you want to do today. And I just like having complete freedom over my schedule. And I think that's one of the things that I think most people will tell you that they really like about living alone. And two is no relationship drama in your house. Listen, no relationship is perfect. There are relationships that are very healthy and very good. There's lots of guys out there in healthy relationships. But for me, I just like not having to worry about an argument, walking on eggshells, or doing something to maybe upset her. Oh my God, I forgot to put the lid on the toothpaste. I don't have to worry about any of those things. I just go about my day. If I get upset about something, it's on me. It's about something I did or something that somebody or something that I had an interaction with that upset me. But typically, I live a very stress-free life. I don't really get upset. I just kind of let bygones be bygones. And I don't let things affect me. And that includes nasty comments at my YouTube or troll videos. I've learned that whatever, you just go on and enjoy your life. No, you don't worry about other people. And again, no relationship, you don't have to worry about upsetting somebody or working through an argument or disagreement. It's kind of nice, to be honest. Now, also is the lower cost of living compared with other Western countries. Now, of course, when you live with somebody, a lot of things get doubled. Your food bill typically will double. Your electric consumption, your water consumption. You need another cell phone plan. You're probably now responsible, especially if you have a girlfriend from Thailand, the Philippines, wherever. You're going to be responsible probably to help out maybe with her visa if she's out of her own country. You're going to be responsible if she gets sick, if she needs hospital care, maybe a family emergency. So if you want to travel, now it's for two. It doesn't have to be terribly expensive. There's certainly ways to keep the cost low. But if you want to go to the movies or do an activity, the price, of course, doubles. And typically, you're probably also going to get a bigger condo unit or apartment. So things definitely double. And another thing is you can choose exactly where you want to live. For example, I have decided, and you will see this in the next few weeks, within the next week or two, you will see where I'll be living. And I've actually narrowed it down to a loft. Now, here in Thailand, for some odd known reason, they don't call it a loft here. They call it a duplex, which means something totally in the West. That means a shared wall with another house that's connected to yours, and maybe like a duplicate. But here, a duplex really means you got the main living area, kitchen, living room, dining room, maybe bathroom on that main floor. And then you usually have a little set of stairs that goes up into just a little bedroom. And that's really what I want. That is what I want. You may have some comments saying, oh, don't get it because of this reason or this reason. That is what I want. And that is what I'm going to get because I don't need to answer to anybody else. It is what I want. It is where I want to live. And that is a great part of being alone. It's also very easy to eat out and socialize. Again, it goes back to if I feel like a salad, I'll go get a salad. If I don't feel like eating lunch, maybe I want to eat at 3 p.m. and then all of a sudden there's my lunch and my dinner all rolled into one. I decide what I want to eat, when I want to eat, how much I want to eat, where I want to eat, whether it's home or out or cook at home or just order some grab and get some food delivered and just chill in front of the TV eating, which I often do. I get to decide. When you live with somebody, you have to compromise on what do you feel like eating. Okay, do you want to go out tonight? Do you feel like cooking? You don't feel like cooking? I don't feel like cooking either. Let's order food, or do we go out? Well, do you want Mexican? I don't really want Mexican. I want Italian. So again, compromise. And honestly, Southeast Asia is very convenient for a single person. It really is. It's a very easy life living out here in Southeast Asia as a single person. And again, I briefly mentioned this, but I really like the freedom to travel wherever you want, whenever you want. Like I have trips to this year, really the only thing because of the move, I have a trip to Taiwan planned. That's really about it for this year. Next year, I will go back to the US twice around March or April, probably back around September or October. I plan on going back to Africa, Kenya, and Rwanda this time. Rwanda's a place I wanted to go to. And I do plan to get back to see family and relatives in Italy next year. So that's all coming up next year. And again, as a single person living alone, I don't need to consult we don't need to decide together where or whenever I want to travel or where or how long or follow my own itinerary and I follow what I want to do. Having your own space is another incredibly big one. For me, it's funny because when I was living alone, like Filipinas would almost like mystified. They would say, do you live alone? I'd say, yeah. Aren't you lonely? And I'd be like, no, I'm not lonely at all. If I feel lonely, I'll go call up a friend. We'll go meet for lunch or something. Or go on a date. But no, I don't feel lonely. I don't know what it is with people who think if you're single or living alone that you somehow must be lonely. That is not the case. That is not the case. I think maybe a particular type of person needs somebody, but me, I'm perfectly happy by myself. In fact, I'm more than happy. I'm very happy. So again, having your own space is incredibly nice. Not, you get when you live with somebody, you need your own space sometimes, and sometimes a Asian girl, Thai, Philippines, whatever, they are very, very physically and personally clingy, and they will want to be with you 24/7 sometimes, and they think nothing of it. They're used to that lifestyle. Filipinos are used to living with a household of people, sleeping in the same bed with 4 people. All these things, being on a jeepney all crowded together. They're used to these things and it doesn't bother them. But us Westerners, we feel like we need some more personal space. I need time alone. I need times with my friends. And a lot of times they just do not get that. So as anything, there are the worst parts as well. So that's what we're going to talk about now. And one is loneliness. There are times that, you sit around and be like, God, it would be nice to travel with somebody. It'd be nice to sit here on the sofa, cuddling up with a beautiful Filipina or Thai or whatever, watching a movie and being able to afterwards say, God, this was really good. Oh, that was a really great jump scare. Or just sharing your daily thoughts of how you felt that day about this new restaurant was amazing. Oh, let's go do this together. Sharing some time together can be quite nice as well. And also, if something goes wrong or you have a really bad day, no one around to help you deal with problems. So if you do have some kind of an emergency situation, a problem, you sometimes having no one to share that with or to fall back on to help you out. You get injured, you have to go to the hospital, you got nobody there really to help you, no support system. I mean, yeah, you may have friends, but it's a little different having a loved one who's there helping you out. So that part can be a struggle for some people too. Yeah, you have to handle everything yourself. When you have errands, grocery shopping, or go pay the internet bill, whatever there is, you have to handle it yourself. Nobody else is going to take care of it. You can't say, "Hey, honey, can you go grab this at the store? I'm editing a video." No, you got to make time. You need to do it. You need to clean your place unless you're going to get a maid. So it all falls on you. And, a lot of times, again, I've mentioned dating, but dating doesn't necessarily solve loneliness. A lot of times you can date and still feel very isolated because maybe there's no intimacy yet. You go on dates and there's no connection. So it ends up, you spend the money and really you're both putting your best foot forward, trying to impress, but it's not even the real you. It's not even the real her at this point. So dating doesn't really solve loneliness. It's getting past that dating stage. It might take 3, 4, where you start to really get to know each other a little better and have a little intimacy. Now, holidays and weekends can feel a little different. Now, for me, weekends, weekdays, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm basically retired. I barely ever know whether it's a weekend or a weekday, other than noticing that the Thai people are coming and going to and work around 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. I would probably not even know, to be honest, most of the time. Holidays, a bit different. It would be nice to share a New Year's kiss together or a Christmas, Thanksgiving, or whatever, just some holidays together. But yeah, living alone, no. You're usually meeting up with your other single friends and going out to some restaurant that serves Thanksgiving dinner. Moving constantly can be exhausting. I, however, actually find it not exhausting. I actually kind of enjoy it, and I'm pretty much a minimalist, so it really doesn't affect me. But example, I find it exciting, like in Bangkok. I'm excited maybe to move out of this neighborhood into a new neighborhood and have a whole new area to explore and kind of meet new people again in the new area. So I've met a lot of friends over here, but now maybe I'll live over here and meet a whole new group of friends and more places to explore. And building deep friendships, it can take some effort. Now, I've mentioned this before, being a vlogger does give me a bit of an advantage. People reach out, say, "Hey, I watch your videos. You want to meet for a coffee?" So I already have the ability to meet people without a whole lot of effort. But other people, not the same experience. And the last one, I think being sick alone kind of sucks sometimes. When you've got a bad cold or whatever, stomach virus, whatever, headache, you do not have somebody that you can say, "Hey, can you run out to the pharmacy and get me some cold medicine, some cough drops, tissue, whatever." You've got to drag your butt out of bed, drag your butt from the sofa, shower, get dressed, walk your butt down to the pharmacy and get your own medications and get back and then rest, or go get some food or order. You don't have anybody cooking you chicken noodle soup. No, you're probably doing it yourself or ordering it. So yeah, and I think us men can be a little bit, we can be babies sometimes when we get sick. I think most of us would probably admit to that. But again, I think there is a huge difference from being alone and loneliness. You can be surrounded by people and still come home to an empty apartment in Bangkok. And so you don't have to be lonely. I've got a huge group of friends. The dating is fine. And so I don't ever really feel lonely. Sometimes it would be nice to have some companionship, but then you weigh it out, the pros and the cons. And at this point in my life, I have no problem being alone because I'm not really alone. I may live alone, but I'm not really alone. And again, as a single person, I don't need to worry about, I probably need a little extra space for rent, and I'm probably going to have to pay a higher rent because I'm living with somebody, we need a little extra space. No, I don't really need to do that. I don't need space for myself. But, you know, electricity, you got rent, electricity, internet, food, transportation, entertainment, travel. So depending on whether I'm traveling or not, that's the key. Typically, I'm spending around 1,750, 1,700 to around 2,100 or 2,200 per month if I'm not really going anywhere. If I'm traveling, it can be anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 per month. That's if I'm traveling, because then I got to pay for hotels, food. I'm still maintaining this place, so that can be more expensive. But knowing everything I know now, would I still live alone or still stay single? At this point in my life, yes, I would. At this point in my life, I'm not really looking for companionship, or at least sharing my life really intimately at this point. At this point in my life, there'll come a time where may change my mind, which is normal. But at this point, I prefer living alone. I'm perfectly happy, perfectly content. I meet lots of people. I have lots of friends. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. So I guess I will close with this. Living alone here in Thailand or wherever it may be for you isn't perfect, but for me, freedom has often been worth the trade-off. The question isn't whether living alone is better than living with someone. It's whether you're comfortable with the life that you've created when you walk through that door and nobody else is there. So let me know down in the comments if you guys are living in Southeast Asia, moving out to Southeast Asia. Are you wanting to do the single life? Or maybe not single, but do you want to live alone? Or do you want the companionship and you want to live with somebody? Drop a comment, let me know. As always, check out all the travel gear I highly recommend for living or traveling around Southeast Asia or anywhere, to be honest, at GioOnTheGo.net. Click on Gio's Travel Essentials, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
Southeast Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights in Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps slipping.